friends! Welcome to the Devlog for experimental build 10 of update 120 of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. We're going to start, as always, with a quick sound check. Make sure your speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, we have a, this is going to be a bit of a patch build this week. I've had a whole bunch of accreted bugs from Meatmas, but along with it is the first build of our experimental universal tripods that I showed off last week. And I have just managed to break one. Smash cut from something immediately breaking. Let's try this again. So as I showed you last time, we have this tripod here that we can extend its legs, we can plant it into the ground, and we can mount any object we want to this. I've added two new features to it since then. Let's just grab a gun to mount to this to demonstrate. So, rifle affixes. Note that it affixes to the tripod wherever we collided the object with it, like so. And now rotates about that pivot. Oop. Sometimes it gets stuck like this. This is something I'm still working to fix. Let's remove this from this. We can now grab... Oh, there we go. Just by grabbing onto it, that was enough to get it. This is the physics system being very annoying. Wouldn't be a devlog without a bug. This is always going to be a little glitchy, just fair warning. And the reason for this is that this is to allow an object to modify a disconnected object while we're still able to fully operate it. Man, why do you keep doing that to me? Yeah, there we go. Back up. That's clearly a math error in the posing that I need to fix. This is some of the most spaghetti code duct tape stuff in H3, but that's the kind of stuff that excites me. We've added two new features to this. If I grab onto this and I click down on the touchpad or AX in streamlined mode, it will just detach whatever object is on it. And if I want to reposition this without unmounting it to the ground, I can just grab onto it and click BY or up on the touchpad and hold that button down and just drag it around to change the length of the various legs. Release, like so. Pop that back on. Shoulder fire! AR-15 on a tripod. Wonderful. Now, I'm sure what a whole bunch of you are asking, like, can we have a tripod that isn't like a camera tripod? That would be a little less silly for things like machine guns. And Grandpa Anton will now get down onto the ground once again, because yes, I did make one. I have implemented a slightly different type of tripod. This one doesn't have extendy legs on it. Let's get onto the ground. There's another sound there for you for your soundboards. As I then hit my hand into the bottom of a desk chair, plant that on the ground, grab a minigun. Actually, we should grab this. Create some testing, Sosigs. I'm very sorry to all of you Sosigs for what is about to happen. Grab our minigun here. Let's actually affix that there. Let's go ahead and give ourselves... Why are you not going into my shoulder? There we go. Let's grab ourselves a few boxes in case we need them. Rotate this around. Beautiful. I have edited the code of the minigun such that it no longer flies out of your hand despite being fired one-handed if it is mounted to something, and it no longer vibrates like it's about to fall apart because it is now on a fixed mounting system. So let's just go ahead and grab this. And there you have it, the most deadly laser beam made of bullets that is in H3, now capable of having a fixed mount. And remember, if you want to pull this off, you just grab onto the tripod, click down, and that will detach the weapon from it. Remember, if you want to actually get a tripod demounted, you just grab onto it, yank upward like so, and then slam it into the ground to reposition as needed. It's like popping bubble wrap. So there you have it. That is the tripod system. I'm putting them in there. I'm sure modders will also make a whole bunch more. There's as I said, there's a few glitches. I'm convinced that I still have like a posing math issue that causes the front of guns to sometimes like rotate wildly beneath things that I'm still working on, but we'll eventually get it there. I'm sure there's also a bunch of things that you shouldn't try to affix to a tripod that might break them. In fact, let's actually do an experiment here. Let's do an experiment here. Pull that off. Can you mount a SOSIG to a tripod? Let's see here. Yup. It does not like that at all. Can we? Oh goodness! Oh, it really doesn't like being repositioned. I think this is. Oh. I don't know what I expected to happen there, but I'm glad it happened. Oh, that is just wonderful. Oh, and this is. Are you glitched out? Oh, no. Yep, and now for some reason, I can no longer reposition this because it's erroring. That's fine though. Provoking this bug, I'll be able to code fix this before I send this your folks' ways. Can we affix a detached SOSIG to it? Nope. This tripod's completely busted. But yeah, I will attempt to fix that. So I guess you can have a tripod SCP SOSIG dismemberment moment of your own. Anywho, let's jump out of VR and talk about what else is going on with an arm swinger jump. Yo, out of VR. So yeah, as I mentioned, this update is a whole bunch of like accreted bug fixes, both from Meet Miss goodies and just some stuff that has been like in a browser tab that I've known I've needed to get to for a while. I'm still working through my backlog. I don't think I'll ever complete the backlog as such. There's too many guns and too many things in the game, but I'm just slowly working through it in a Sisyphean manner. It is going well though. As I said, the tripods I just put in here are some gross goblin code. There is probably some corner cases and some weird states. If you pull the pin on a grenade and then mount it to a tripod and then the grenade explodes, I have no idea what's going to happen. In general, any object that can change state in a radical way or be destroyed might do something unusual with the tripod. There's just so many combinations of objects. I have very little of a way to tell. So obviously, if you come up with some weird corner case thing and are like, hey, can you fix this bug? We'll see. If it's something central to the experience of mounting weapons and objects that need to be mounted on the tripod, I will try to make that work as best as I'm able to in sort of sane, finite time. Either way, I hope it ends up being useful to you folks. I was already using it in testing out in the Dooney range to make like 3,000 meter shots, which is something that prior I had only managed to encounter, do with the hover bench, which doesn't really have you holding the gun at all anymore. Like the hover bench just holds the gun 100% still, and you are manipulating its position externally. So this is apparently a stable enough platform for ultra long range shooting. And so that was super fun. I can't remember. I was using the MRAD and the M107 to do it. So I was having it's a fun platform to play with. The last thing I wanted to mention, there's no hot dog or not dog yet this week. I had gotten a suggestion over the holidays from a friend of mine to sort of open things up to the community, because I had been talking about the fact that it's like I feel like I'm running out of interesting and weird things to put on hot dogs, like at Trader Joe's and such. And so for those of you, especially those of you who live in other parts of the world, if you have an interesting thing that you would like to see me try on a hot dog, here's my P.O. box. Feel free to send it my way. And as long as it's some constraints on this, It should be something that roughly falls under the umbrella of a condiment, a topping, something akin to that. It needs to be food, and it should be the sort of thing that one could conceivably put on a hot dog, but obviously shouldn't be something you would think to put on a hot dog. We want to chart novel culinary territory with this. If you have any sort of local specialities, also it needs to not be something like horrendous fermented Scandinavian fish thing. Like if it's going to stink my apartment up, do not send it to me. If it's going to wound me, don't send it to me. I may be a self-effacing, self-destructive YouTuber here to harm myself for your pleasure at times, but I have limits, and my limits do not include making my apartment smell like fermented shark or whatever. So please exercise a little bit of common sense with it, but especially like I'm trying not to turn this. I want to actually find new things to put on a hot dog that people just don't think to put on a hot dog. I'm sick of ketchup and mustard. Clearly, there's more territory. We've already discovered in the past year a lot of new and interesting things, and I would like to continue that journey with you folks. So again, if you have any interest to do this and want to send me a ridiculous condiment topping, especially if it's something that you can really only get where you are, a regional specialty, something that someone who doesn't live where you are would think of or know about, I would love to see it. And we can see if we can do a year of hot dog or not dog with things that are truly surprising to me. So I hope I don't regret what I have just encouraged. So, anywho, have fun with the tripods. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.